Hello and welcome to another video from me, James Wilson, barrister at Park Square Barristers in Leeds. I recently uploaded a video in relation to the creation of bundles for remote hearings, and I noticed on legal Twitter that there was some concern by some people about how they were going to work remotely, how they were going to deal with the documentation remotely. To that end, I thought I'd create a video showing what I do when I get emails with number of PDFs, number of Word documents, how I prepare that electronically. I'm lucky at this stage because I've been dealing with this for a number of years now, and I've learned through trial and error. I've had the opportunity when I've gone into error to simply hit the print button, print it all out and do it in the way that we have all learned in the past. Some of you are not in that position now, so I thought this video might be helpful to show you what I do. If I've gone too fast, if I've done something that you have missed because of the way that I've edited the video, then just drop me a message, drop me a comment, drop me an email, and I'll help you out. We are all in this together. Let's just get through this, shall we? If there's anything I can do to help you from the experience that I've had over the last 7 or 8 years doing things paperless, then please let me know. The video coming after this is a recording from my laptop and then a recording from my iPad. I don't know how well it's going to seem together, so let's just see where we get to. So I just received my brief. We've got 2 emails, some with PDFs and some with Word documents. This is the first email in time. I'm going to download all of the attachments together. It's already in the correct file. Attachment 1. Now, this little box at the bottom will pop up. I get rid of that. Then look at this. This is 5 attachments. They're all Word documents. Download them all together. Save as. Should go into the same one. Attachments 2. Right. So that's all of the documents downloaded. Now let's look at these documents. Now they're both in zip files. So the first thing you need to do to make them manageable is to Control A or highlight them all, copy them, take them back out of that file and drop them down into your then attachments 2, copy them all, Control C or right click on your mouse, copy, back into the original file, Control V. Right, so now I've taken everything out of there so I can highlight those and delete them. Okay, so I've got 2 PDFs and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Word documents. Now I know roughly what I've got here, don't I? Because I've got, it says counsel brief, POC, Skelly, 3 witness statements, med records and CNFs. So I know what documents I want and roughly into what order. Now I want them all as PDFs, so I go to ilovepdf.com and I convert PDF Word to PDF. Select Word files. Hopefully this will open into yes. So then I hold down Control, highlight all of these documents, open them into PDF, and I convert them into PDFs, and that might take a few seconds. So now I download them all, and that will be a zip again. Save that into, we'll call it PDFs. Right, again, I don't need that. Go back to preparing e-bundles. I've got all of those Word documents, and now, it's unfortunate, all of those Word documents are now in that zip file as PDFs. So again, Control A to highlight them all, either Control C or copy, because we want them back into this section here. Control V and paste. Okay. So all of, and they will appear under the original Word documents. So we can delete the Word documents. Highlight and delete, highlight and delete that zip file. Okay, so I've got all of my papers now are PDFs. So now I want to create one bundle. So back to ilovePDF.com, merge it, select all the PDFs, which should again come up. So that Control A, don't need to worry about the order yet. Once that does it so, I have my brief first, then I'll have the pleadings, then I'll have the Skelly, then I'll have the witness statements. So let's see, witness statement 2, 3 and 4, med records and the CNF. To a certain extent, doesn't actually matter what order things are in, because you're going to have page number references. You're going to be able to move between pages fairly easily. So that's been downloaded. I save that, and I save that as webinar full file 17th of April 2020. And I put the date on because sometimes I'll get extra PDFs which will come in, then I'll know, then I'll merge them in, then I'll know that it's the webinar, the case, it's the full file, and that was the full file as at the 17th of April. If I then get some more in and I merge it with the original, then I'll know that it's been updated, because I'll redate it to an extra time. So that has finished downloading. Right, so now we have webinar full file. What I do, so that if I do get extra documents later down the line, I delete everything else. So all I've got in this, in my file for this case, is this PDF. And you double click on it and it opens into Adobe Acrobat. It's 489 pages, which is about average, isn't it? So now I need to prep it. So the first thing is the half screen. Sometimes this will be there, so delete that. 70 to 75% screen size I find is useful. Now I hit enter will take us to the bottom of the immediate page here. So you see at the bottom there it says and, hit enter, that'll become the top of the page. So that's the skeleton argument. If you press shift and enter, sorry, it goes up. Press enter, it goes down. On my computer, 2 fingers on the mouse pad will scroll up and down. So we've got to prep it. Let's open a Word document. Let's learn how to spell Word. Not sure what's happening there. Right. Again, your Word document might open up fully. I half it and I have it approximately there. Create the title page, because invariably there might, well, not invariably, there might be an order that needs to be made. So I would usually attempt to copy this. Oh, well, it's not working, so let's just assume that I've put in the title. Okay. And this is where I start doing the notes. So I have the particulars of claim here. So the POC, they're on page 4 of the bundle. So I use brackets as a page number. I use square brackets as paragraph. So we can see here, can't we, from the particulars of claim, that paragraph 1, Owen Farrell is the England captain. If required, you can highlight pages, highlight sections, but I don't do that in prepping it. In prepping it, I just use page numbers and paragraph numbers, because I will go to the reader on my iPad, which I'll be using at trial, to highlight sections. There are very few things, this is personal preference, there are very few things which I will only prep once. I won't read this 489 pages, make notes and then go to course. I'm going to read them again, so it doesn't matter if I read them on my laptop or on my iPad. My preference is prep it on the iPad like this, and then when I re-prep it, I will tab up the iPad and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. That will be later on in this video. So we have paragraph 1 on page 4. We have, these are just notes, so page 5, paragraph 5. No doubt Saracens have done something naughty. Wage deferrals, yep. Allegedly, I should say. The players have been overwhelmingly supportive. That's good to know. So I've then got a skeleton argument, which, as it should do, mirrors the pleadings quite substantially. Witness statements. So Control B. This is the witness statement of Owen Farrell. You can see here it's at page 12. So statement Owen Farrell, page 12. And what does it say? Paragraph 1, it's captain. Paragraph 2, 75k or over. They're going to be deferring wages. Good lads. Do we have witness statement 2 of Owen Farrell? That's at page 15. Paragraph 4, you'll see already condemned to relegation. Hadn't actually appreciated that this article was so depressing, but I think you get the picture in relation to witness statements now. So now we've got the med records. They start at page 20. You're going to have to fill it. These, go through them page by page. You'll be looking for specific dates, no doubt, when prepping them. Obviously, you're going to read every page, but you will initially, I would expect, well, this is a matter of preference, go to the specific dates, and of course the most important dates are on page 64. Now, it's an interesting point we've got here. This is paginated differently. Now, you will often get a trial bundle or a hearing bundle which is paginated from front to back, but there'll be additional documents that you'll want within your one PDF. That will knock out the pagination. It might be that you get that your preference would be to put the hearing bundle right at the front of your merged PDF so that the page numbers are close to or near as close to as they can be. What I tend to do is, in that situation, I will put page 64 of 489 because that's what page number this is, and then in brackets, double brackets, page 45. That highlights to me when I'm on my feet or when I'm prepping it that I've got conflicting page numbers, but it's not a terrible intellectual jump to identify that immediately once you get fairly well used to it. In fact, I got that page number wrong. So 64 of 489, we have Insolvency Rule 120, everybody's favourite, covering notices of registrars. Again, I'm not tabbing these up because I'm going to tab them up on the iPad, and you don't need to because your notes cover you. Going back to page 64 there, registrars covering notes. So that's no real issue. Now we've got hundreds and hundreds of pages of med records here. Might be something at the back in the hospital notes. Here we are, page 310. That's 310 of 489, which is page 291 in the bundle or the notes. And of course, the deaths surviving the discharge. Those are the worst debts to have, of course. But if we're flicking between the two, 310 back to 64 to check out that note that we've just put up there, back to 310, all the way. Again, pages and pages of unnecessary documents. You could take these out. My preference would be not to, just in case something turns on it. Moving hundreds and hundreds of pages in a split second means that you don't need to. Now we're on to the CNF. It's dated the 25th of December, of course, and that is at page 468 of 489. Now, this page isn't paginated separately, or is it? No, it's not. So, once you've started with the 468 of 489, once you've started doing the pagination like this, it's better to, in my experience, it's better to keep that. You can see there were 4 people in the car. been shopping, it says. And that's page 470 of 489. Check a telephone number, that's always useful in some cases. So we've got a telephone number there at the bottom. We can cross-reference that against the medical notes perhaps. 851683. That is page 489 to 489. Right. So that's how I go through the initial note making. I will then, on my second look at the papers, I'll then go through the PDF Expert, and I'll show you that in a moment. So I've opened up PDF Reader. I've then gone into the Dropbox icon on the left hand side. There's no way for me to do that without breaching all sorts of data protection, so I've started the video where we are. This is downloading now the bundle, so that didn't take very long. We have 489 pages as we had before, and this is where it starts getting useful. So you simply swipe across with your hand. Particulars of claim. Now you see the bookmark on the top right hand corner, press that, add the bookmark, POC, done. Next we're swiping, Skelly, add. No, that was bound to happen. Add Skelly, done. Now we know, don't we, from our notes, which I'm just pulling up on my laptop, that on page 20 the med records start. So the dots on this side go to page 20. Med records start. So that's the start of the med records. We know that. We know that at page 64 of 489, go to page 64. That was, as we remember, the Registrar of Companies covering notices. Insolvency Rule 1.2. So we know that that's an important page. So we add that in. That's med record IR 1.2. Done. Now, we know, don't we, that some of these rules are important. We know that we're going to be cross-examining on that page, but only on this section. So we press the pen button. We can change the size of the pen should we wish. I'm a 1.5 point man myself. Now, some people are a little bit more discreet than I am. We also know that the worst debts are the debts the debts surviving the discharge from 310. So we go to page 310. That was page 310 of 489, wasn't it? There they are. Those are the worst ones. We have to take the pen off before we write on the screen again. But now we can highlight for those who are slightly less brutal than I am. I'm a big fan of the big red arrow. Now if we look at that T box there, we can insert some text. So that's done. Let's cross-examine on this point. I meant point, of course. These things don't matter. You can press the rubber, which will delete the big brutal arrow, which I'm using. We haven't added in the debt, have we? That survive. Now, I just want to show you really how quickly and easily this goes through. So let's say that these two medical records are inconsistent. They are 250 pages apart, which might even be a separate hard copy bundle. But look at how simple and easy it is to go between the two of them. This is a 489 page bundle, and is super easy to go between the pages. What was our other? Our CNF was at page 469. Go to page 468. In fact, 468. Done. That's where our CNF is. And we had a family of 4, didn't we? They were all in the car at the same time. Highlight those pages. Add that in. CNF dated 25/12/19. Done. So now when you're cross-examining or preparing your case or presenting your case, simply go to the bookmark. If something goes wrong with the bookmark, you have your notes on your laptop which cross-reference the page numbers, which can then be typed in. Now, I'm not saying that this is easy, but it is manageable. It's manageable if you spend a little bit of time going through shopping lists, going through the insolvency rules, and just working out how to go smoothly and swiftly between the pages. You'll see at the bottom here we have a slider which will get you to and from pages quickly. And you can see, can't you, that if one gets a little bit practiced about this, then it can be done. I assure you that I've done trials with over 2,000 pages on this and on a laptop with no pen. I don't say that to brag. I say that to identify how possible it is. And I'm a counsel who historically needed 2, perhaps 3 notebooks to separate notebooks to prep certain difficult cases. That is no longer. It can be done on laptops and on iPads. Well, there we go. As simple as that. If you found that helpful in any way, shape or form, then please feel free to tag your colleagues who you think might need some assistance in the comments, or share it with them. As I said at the beginning, we're really all in this together. Let's try and get through this and make this work as best we can. If there's something that you found helpful but I didn't explain properly or fully, feel free to contact me and I'll give you as much assistance as I possibly can in the next weeks or months going forward.